Alright, budget magic time. Playing some mono green Aurora in standard. And I think we'll try this. Double tireless tracker is good. Hedron Archive gets us to Nissa's Renewal. Obviously a risky keep, but we are a 27 land deck, so drawing lands isn't that ridiculous. Well, the good news is Nissa's Pilgrimage means we only need one more land to start the ramping. Bad news is we don't have that land. Well, we got a Hedron Crawler. Alright. That's like a land that dies to all our opponent's removal. Like Deadweight. What is this deck? Land? Alright, there's a land. So I think... let's just Tireless Tracker. If it lives, the next turn we can Pilgrimage with the tracker on the battlefield, and that's way better. Another island. This might be like a blue-black Brain in the Jar deck. Ruinous Path takes down Tireless Tracker. Well, let's see what we draw. Not a land. Alright. Well, we got a Nissa's Pilgrimage. We need to start building up our mana. So get a couple Forest, play one, play the other. So we're up to 5 lands. No clue tokens, though. Accursed Witch. Our opponent is playing something spicy. Leaf Gilder. When it dies, return it transformed. Well, let's Hedron Archive. Leaf Gilder. Pass the turn. So next turn, if everything lives, we have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 mana. So we could potentially Tireless Tracker plus Explosive Vegetation. That would be sweet. We're definitely taking 4 here. Also a little worried that our opponent has a bunch of counters. I have no idea what's happening in this deck. It has lots of removal and a Cursed Witch. Wow. Nobo. Sure. Okay. Well, this works. Tireless Tracker. Explosive Vegetation. Gets us a couple of clue tokens. Forest, another clue, and pass the turn. So I'm tempted just to slam a Great Aurora, but if we can Nissa's Renewal. We also don't want to get it countered. I would assume this deck just pretty much can't beat Gaea's Revenge. So we have that working for us. Read the Bones. Opponent's trying to find some lands. I don't know about Accursed Witch, which needs to die to transform, and Flaying Tendrils in the same main deck seems a little greedy. Now, Forest, get a clue. Well, let's attack with Tireless Tracker. Let's sack a clue, pump up Tireless Tracker, draw a card. Alright, that works. Get in for 4. Nissa's Pilgrimage. Oh man, if they don't have a counter, we are going to get many clues. So we get a clue there. And then Nissa's Renewal. Oh, our poor opponent. Yup, still no counter. Well, if we resolve the Great Aurora, I don't know how our opponent can win. This is 7, 8, 9, 10, 20, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to draw 25, and they're going to draw 11. Normally those are the numbers you get for the second Great Aurora. Usually it takes a couple Great Auroras to double the advantage on the opponent. They are leaving up that 2 mana. Oh, Startled Awake. That could be bad. Well, they didn't appear to have a counter last time, so let's just play a land, get a clue, tap out, and the Great Aurora, floating a ton of mana. Floating 7, so I need a negate here. Or we should draw into Gaia's Revenge. If we hit 2, we just win, which we're not guaranteed to. Have they really been holding a negate? Okay. That does absolutely nothing, but fair enough. They bounce our Tireless Tracker. Do we hit any Gaia's Revenge? We whiffed on Gaia's Revenge. Well, all lands. Opponent drew 10, we drew 26. Wonder how many lands our opponent got. We might just the Great Aurora again right away. They only hit 3 non-lands. So let's Nissa's Renewal. Get some forests. Can we do it again? No. Yeah, we can. Alright, Nissa's Renewal. Get 3 more forests. And then the Great Aurora. No mana floating, but I don't think that really matters. So Great Aurora number 2 this turn. All lands. And this time I think we got it. Man, this deck is so sweet when it goes off. Gaia's Revenge. Oh, combo. Combo time. Gaia's Revenge, number 2. And that does it. That was turn 9. We drew, I don't even know, 60 cards over the course of that turn. 26 and then 29. So almost 60 cards. We'll just run it back. I think we're pretty favored in this matchup. Unless our opponent brings in a ton of counterspells, then it could be tricky. The thing I like about this deck is some of the old Great Aurora decks that were really like 4 of Great Aurora decks. Not like the Seasons Past decks that play a single Great Aurora, but some of the old ones were drawing pretty dead to counterspells. You just have a really hard time in control matchups. But our deck, thanks to Gaia's Revenge, actually has some cards that are super good against control decks. Our opponent is choosing to draw, which is kind of weird. Drawing and constructed, usually you need a pretty good reason to do that. Limited, there's arguments, depending on the matchup, the format, the deck. But in constructed, well, land. Yeah, let's just miss this pilgrimage here. Get a couple forests, 1 on the battlefield. Pass the turn. Another land for our opponent. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Alright, let's just... Yeah, let's Hedron Crawler. Forest. Pass the turn. Next turn, if our opponent taps out for like a Cursed Witch or something, and our Hedron Crawler lives... To the Slaughter. Alright, our opponent does have a lot of removal. I guess To the Slaughter isn't out to Gaia's Revenge. I was hoping to set up Tireless Tracker plus Explosive Vegetation in the same turn, because that would be a lot of clue tokens. I guess we can just keep playing it slow. Yeah, Blighted Woodland, pass the turn. And then next turn, we're back on course for Tireless Tracker plus Explosive Vegetation. So let's crack Blighted Woodland, get a couple forests. Tireless Tracker. A Broken Concentration. Alright. Well, Foundry. Explosive Vegetation. Get a couple more forests. Pass the turn. Land for our opponent. And passes. Well, there we go. This is our other... on second thought, let's not do it this way. Let's pass the turn and sack Foundry. And that way, if our opponent has 2 the slaughter, we don't lose our Gaea's Revenge. Also, our opponent could just tap out, and we could the Great Aurora. So let's sack Foundry, get a couple Thopters, land, Gaea's Revenge, swing for 10. Apparently nothing. Down to 10. Hedron Archive. And they decide to counter that. Sure. Well, they need to deal with our Thopters so they can to the slaughter our Gaea's Revenge. Otherwise, they are going to have a rough go of it. Alright, there's a dead weight. So they still have one more Thopter they gotta get rid of. Ruinous Path. Alright, they got rid of the Thopters. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Alright, let's just attack with Gaea's Revenge. Nissa's Renewal. So we're kind of to the point where they're dead if they can't kill Gaea's Revenge, and if they can kill Gaea's Revenge, hopefully they can't also counter the Great Aurora. And if they can't counter the Great Aurora, alright, sweet. Well, that was a very awkward matchup, but we got to combo off pretty sweetly.